Today it rained over the night last night, so I really don't want to push stuff around with the Bobcat and rut up everything, get everything muddy and nasty. It's sitting pretty flat and level right now, so I don't want to go through and rut everything up. But what I can do is start digging out some of the bigger trees that are definitely going to have to go. The oak trees are a lot harder to dig up than the cedar trees are with the Bobcat. So now we have this guy out. We're going to be digging up these two trees right here. One of them's probably a 12-inch tree. The other one's probably 16 or 18-inch tree. And then this guy. And this one, I don't know what this cable is for, but we got a big cable around the base of the tree. I don't know, it's probably 3/8 inch. I don't know where that cable goes. Might be a long cable. Looks like it's been there for a minute. Yeah, it just ends right there. And then start working our way around. I left some really big stumps that are cedar tree stumps. I just didn't want to start ramming the Bobcat into it when I can just dig it out. But for now, we're gonna start digging this later. It looks like, so I bought this excavator used, and it looks like they did some aftermarket additions and put this on. It was a pipeline company that I bought it from, and they need the bottom of their trenches flat and smooth. However, that's not the best for digging. So we'll see how that goes today. If not, I'm gonna have to go through and punch out all the pins because I'd like to keep this probably for later on. I don't want to just go through and, I guess I could just torch it off, but I think I'm just gonna buy new teeth and then keep this the way it is right now. That way, whenever I get ready to start putting the utilities in, I can dig flat bottom trenches, because in the area we have really big rocks. However, seems like here it's mainly just like caliche type stuff. So it'd be nice to be able to dig flat trenches and not have to get a smooth bucket. So that might work out. But for today, the one reason why I typically try to stay out of trees with the excavator, and you'll probably at some point see me go through and cut all these trees off at probably 6 or 7 foot high before I start. You leave 7 or 8 feet to get leverage to push them whenever you start digging up the root balls. But for today, I'm just going, this tree doesn't really have any limbs coming out this way, so I'll just break down the limbs that are going to get in the way of the boom arm, because you do have pipes and hoses up here that are not designed to be banged against things. So that is kind of an issue whenever you start digging around in trees. So I'm gonna take down some of these limbs and then start going on the root balls. I imagine it's gonna take a minute with the bucket the way it is. And this thing also does not have a quick change out for the bucket, quick disconnect for the bucket. So I was looking at it, and it appears as though they probably had some trouble with stuff backing out because they welded some of these nuts on, which is super awesome. There's Loctite that you can use. So I'm gonna have to grind off the welds on the back of those before I get going too much, because I may end up having to get a ripper to pop these out. I don't need it, but I think it'll be a lot easier on the machine, and then it'll take me half the time to bust through the roots. So I need to measure and make sure that my truck is not in the way of this tree, because it is leaning that way, and park it somewhere else, and then get going on everything. got like 6 minutes of this video left, but what I think I'm gonna do is go ahead and clean up some of this stuff. I just don't want to leave it like this, and it's not gonna take long. And I'll probably turn off the camera and turn it back on when I'm done, and it should all be done pretty quick. So let's see if we can get it all done. There's all the stuff. You can see, like, these trees are huge. The root balls are taller than I am. I'm not sure if it picks up on camera as good as it should, but as good as it is. But like, see the root ball, it's a little bit bigger than I am. Half of it's still down in the hole. So anyway, gonna turn this off for a little while because I'm about to run out of battery, and then I'll turn it on when I'm done. Alright, so cleaned up all the trees that I had laid over earlier. Kind of did a halfway job of filling in the holes and pushed everything off into where it's going to get burned. And then I cleaned around the front fence. Anyway, ended up spending way longer out here than I was going to, but everything was going good, so I just kept going. But other than that, I think I'm probably gonna have to pause and get the thumb on the excavator at minimum, because I'm kind of running out of bobcat work to do, and it's gonna get to the point where things are getting inefficient because I don't have that, and running an excavator without a thumb is a pain in the butt. So other than that, I cleared up. I kind of found a spot where I'm gonna stop so I can keep my machines hidden from the road until the last minute, and then have a spot back on the back of the property that I'm gonna move everything to, because that's probably a couple days away where I'm gonna have to move everything off the highway. So other than that, I'll probably be working on the thumb next.